Good morning. Welcome to a bumpin' episode of the Esperia Chronicles. Presented by AFKwDG. I'm your host, Danger. And today, oof boy, baby, we got a full plate today. Today we are gonna cover everything I already covered for all you little Esperians, all you little wilders and maulers and light bearers out there, even you Graveborn, especially. I didn't have to cover this for you Graveborn is the thing, because you guys know, because it's all about you. It's all about the Dead Tide fleet, the history of the Graveborn, Quaedem, dare I speak his name. We're going to cover all of it today for everybody that wasn't with us on September 1st, when, in the wake of the announcement of Waves of Intrigue, I covered everything about the Dead Tide fleet before we'd even heard those words out of them, I don't think. We knew what was coming, though, with Waves of Intrigue and a Graveborn expansion, man. So I'm happy to cover it all again with now we've got the clarity of seeing what they did with the storyline so far. So I think it'll bring a different perspective to it. And also, we'll be doing the Taylene quest today with the full voiceovers and cinematics in-game. Need to complete that because I need to finish it on my global main.
I'm Thoran, Lord of the Court of Terror.
I walk in the gloom, and I'm loyal. I'm Greshel, a former royal guard.
I'm Silas. I always stand with science.
I'm Baden Rain. I will never succumb to darkness.
This time, I will put on the vengeful crown and send all those who betrayed me to hell.
I aspire to turn tortured souls into perfect beings.
Loyalty is my undying destiny.
I'm not afraid of loneliness and death. I only fear not being able to see the sun.
Graveborn never betray anyone. There are made
And the Thoran video specifically will open with this. It's just such a good visual. I think it works really well it's just hard to beat for a visual for everybody. So here we are, friends, and then I'll go straight into the book. Enjoy. Straight courtesy of Lilith Games. Farlight is, of course, a sub-company of Lilith, and it is Lilith. Farlight is Lilith. So this is published a year ago, it says. I think it was closer to 2, but it's an anime of the Court of Terror, which is Thoran and Bantus. And then we'll read all about it in a few minutes. The history of it before this, too.
for Bantus. For the king.
For my brother. Cheers, Your Majesty.
Good! Protect the king! Edwin! Farewell!
My beloved brother.
Foolish mercy only brings rebellion and condemns people to nightmare. Edwin. Well, a poor failure who was driven from the throne died a pathetic.
Who's there?
All that matters is not who I am, but why you.
Okay, pause here. This is Quaedem. Quaedem is sort of like a Esperia's Hitler. If Hitler didn't quite get to accomplish his initial goals in life and accidentally blew up Germany when he was trying to blow up, you know, Britain. So, quite literally, he's a mage who is dabbling, more than dabbling, who was investing himself fully into the dark arts and necromancy. Quaedem, I'll write it out too. Hold on. So, Quaedem something like that. So Quaedem is the creator of the Graveborns, but in life, before he became who we know him as today, he was very much something of an Esperian Hitler, who the Lightbearers had broken up into 12 city-states, which is just humanity, right? So humanity was not, they weren't even, actually they may have been the Lightbearers already, but that's not important. Humanity was broken up into 12 city-states, and they started warring with each other. In warring with each other, different powerful mages came to power because magic was, you know, everything, especially to humans who don't have the bestial claws and things to fight with. Of course, anyone who's new here, I could even step back a second and just and remind everybody that the reason that the city-states had even existed and the reason humanity was fighting with itself is because of the creation of the Ya, which became the Maulers and the Wilders. The humanity was experimenting on itself, on random test subjects, trying to create a human that could live forever. They had been lied to by the gods, and there was no way to do it. But in their attempts, they created animal people by splicing humans with invigorating essence, which is, of course, purple dust, y'all. So they're creating animal people. The animal people all get excommunicated. That's not the word. What's it when you kick people out of somewhere? I mean, yeah, but anyway, exiled. They were exiled, and then humanity splits up into 12 city-states fighting against itself, while the Maulers are also launching attacks on humanity. Meanwhile, in a little town called Bellevale, a man named Quaedem rises to power. He builds this magic bomb, basically. It's a sandstorm that he whips up into a gigantic, essentially like an atomic nuke that will completely wipe out all of his neighboring city-states, not just one, but he's Hitler with a bomb that could blow up Britain and France and you know, other allied places all at once. He's gonna drop this. But in his creating it, as he whips it up into the giant sandstorm frenzy, it backfires and he blows up all of Bellevale, or Germany, using my metaphor, killing absolutely every man, woman, and child except for himself, because he is such a powerful mage that it doesn't do him in. It just does in everybody else. And he's laying there, not really a body, more of a being, like you think Voldemort in the very end of the last Harry Potter, when he's that little creature that's like laying on the floor and just this little weird being. And the allies find him this way when they approach. So this is known in Esperian history as the Bellevale disaster. And they find Quaedem, and discovering what he had tried to do to them, but it accidentally did to his own people, they torture him for months on end. I don't think it was for information. I think it was just for their personal pleasure. I don't know that there was much purpose to it beyond that. And he stays alive for months in this state before death finally frees him. And when he arrives in the afterlife, Anai is nowhere to be found, so the throne in the kingdom of the dead, where souls are supposed to be going, is vacant. And so he sort of takes over and starts directing them back up onto the plane of the living, but now they're doing his bidding. And eventually, instead of, he could have remained there and just ran things from the underworld there, but he decides he too is going to come back up, and he ascends back to the world it starts existing in various different forms and creating the school of magic that we now know as necromancy, which was mentioned, of course, at the end of the Immortal scenes when Hammy is speaking out against it and says, no, we can't do this. That would be, that's necromancy, and Magister isn't allowed to do that kind of magic. You got to keep your record clean, man. That school of magic. So this is how that school of magic was created. It was created by this man whose story I just told you. And yes, yep, Zaxxas, you had it, exiled. So we'll talk about him more in a little bit here, but that is whose eyeball this is upon Thoran. He begins turning people into Graveborns and more or less freeing them of really any identifiable parts of their personality. And the only parts that remain are their strife and their problems and their gripes. He literally has them focus on their vengeful gripes from the world. There's lots of good words for that. So he's creating these puppets essentially, but they feel as though they have autonomy, but they really don't. And in fact, all of these Graveborns share this hive mind because of Quaedem. So they are all, in one sense, Quaedem. He has control over them, and they are a giant hive mind, which is what you see Hodgkin when he pulls Nara across at the end of that scene on the Immortal, and she gets sucked back over, and he holds the lantern up high, which I can play it in a minute. That is what that is. That is, it's that power that, and she suddenly zaps back into it. And of course, Viperian says, when Viperian and Bonnie are standing there and we're talking to them at the end, before they go and dip out with their Rick and Morty portal gun, Viperian says, oh, Nara is ours, mind, body, and soul. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, kind of a Zerg. Little bit. Totally. Yeah, they got some Zerg qualities. So yes, there are Graveborns outside of Quaedem's control, Hawk. Exactly. And also the whole hive mind, only the bad shit remains thing. Like, it's very, it's a little bit loose. Like, they definitely have a lot of personalities, but most of all of it can be explained, at least out of AFK Arena. Now, I think that, as I've said, you know, countless times, the journey writing is a little bit ill-informed and doesn't really understand its own world very well, and kind of just is a little bit simple. It feels like someone came in and said, oh, cool background, let me write some TV stories for it, without really understanding the world. But yes, that is there's plenty of Graveborns that are operating now outside of Quaedem's control, more than ever right now, actually. And so I don't know Igor's exact story, but it's quite possible, yes. Plus, they do keep their personalities to, I don't know, to like some degree, but the parts of them that are able to be kind and caring and put someone before themselves, that all is gone. They are all back with, more of them are like Viperian. The way he's like completely committed to the cause and fairly evil. That's more the deal, generally speaking. Gosh, do you think, Zoth? It almost does. Whatever would give you that idea? But it's okay. It's okay, because they've got me now, hopefully. We'll work it out. I would love nothing more than to be helping them make it make sense by season 4.
I made that choice. My people will remember me for what I did for them.
No. They will only curse your incompetence while surviving under the new regime. Or you, a benevolent king, want to take revenge on the betrayers?
No, I can't.
It's your dark side. That is the anger and the resentment. It's time to get back on track.
Bantus needs a new path.
Hope you enjoy what I left you.
Well, now, Bama, hold on. Which part of Edwin? You talking about Edwin now? Because I'm not sure that's true. Edwin beforehand, none of them were Graveborn during the betrayal. None of them are Graveborns yet. They all become Graveborn after the betrayal, Bama. But you may be right about afterward. I don't know that much about what Edwin does as part of the... Edwin is Thoran's brother, y'all. He betrays Thoran, which, well, you'll see. But I don't think Edwin is even necessary, because some people work with some people are Graveborn faction and not dead, by the way. There are those that are still humans and just love being evil and working with the Graveborn. There's plenty of them, such as Vidan, Count Vidan, who is the adoptive father of Sylvina and her sister Isabella. Count Vidan is arguable, I think is not undead. In fact, his devotion to the Graveborn is because he doesn't want to die. I think that's what I remember about him. Again, he's one of the episodes of lore that I made and never released. Don't ask me why. Content creating is hard, but it's basically done. Count Vidan, that's my project for October, by the way, is dig out all the different lore stories I have that I haven't released and just put them all out for you guys.
Kindness is easily forgotten, but fear lives on.
Quaedem, you prick.
It's time. Vengeance will be the best decoration for your new crown. Make them tremble in fear.
Kingship never truly dies. It is only reborn in fear. Pledge your life and swear your loyalty to the king. In return, I will grant you eternity. Wake up, Bantus. No. I shall call it the Court of Terror.
How about that animation? Oh my gosh, at the end when he turns it into undead, it's so cool. One more time, just the beginning part, the betrayal and stuff. Now that you guys understand kind of what's going on, I want to play this through a little bit more one more time and discuss it. So right now everyone's alive in Bantus, right? So Thoran was famously known as a good king. He was a benevolent king who the history of Bantus was one of hundreds of years of wars, and in fact a proudly warmongering people who took pride in attacking their neighbors and shedding blood, and you know, very Valhalla oriented, like no man should die old at home, but they should all pass away on the battlefield if they want to be a real man kind of a place. And to the point that literally they had done away with schools because it made more sense for them to just run military operations, and they did away with all the extra things in order to support it, because it was a real place with real economic problems, and like, you know, they have to have a real economy. So they started training their soldiers to be better in that regard instead of better educated. So this goes on for hundreds of years. And finally, when Thoran inherits the throne, he decides that maybe he doesn't want to rule like that. Maybe their people were destined for greater things than this. And he starts forging alliances with the nearby towns. Meanwhile, his brother was influenced by, well, a lot of things. Honestly, we should read Edwin's story. That would kind of shed a lot of light here. Why don't we do that? Hold on. Let's get Edwin up. I had it right here. And if the game crashes, by the way, if the stream crashes, just hang tight and I'll bring it back up. Sometimes recently it has crashed while I've been running both BlueStacks and Journey. I suppose we could just close Journey. Sure, we'll close Journey for the time being. Makes sense to me. I don't understand that sentence, Hawk, and I've read it 4 times. I'm really trying. Why is this showing something different than I want it to? Hold on. I would think that it would just... Oh, maybe because I edited it earlier. I must have. Yeah, I did. Whoopsies. Not good. There we are. Yes. Not the way. All right. Let's see where to put it. I suppose here. Yeah, sure. Why not? Good as anywhere. We could just go to the... duh. We should just go to the Esperia Chronicles. That is, after all, the show we're doing, is it not? Aha! And here we are. Back home. Beautiful. Perfection. Okay. Now, Edwin, Thoran's brother, is a fellow I've actually built up recently. It's this fellow.
I have ruled before, and I shall rule again.
I don't think it's fair to call him the usurper. That was not really what he was about. He got tricked. But he has a cool story, which I'll give you right now. And look at his flower. Isn't that beautiful? I think... Bama, do you think it makes sense? Hey, Clary. Bama, do you think it makes sense to do Theowen and then Edwin, or Edwin and then Theowen? Let's just do it. We'll do Edwin now. Their sister, I think, is an important part of the story, too. To really understand Thoran. Bantus's foreign wars never truly stopped. Apologies. Edwin, the usurper. Bantus's foreign wars never truly stopped. Even if they appeared to, it was merely to prepare for the next territorial expansion. Edwin had not long been of age when he voluntarily requested to go to the front line. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, brothering. One hot second. All right. We got this. No, I think Edwin, I like Edwin first and then Theowen. Bantus' foreign wars never truly stopped. Even if they appeared to, it was merely to prepare for the next territorial expansion. Just as I was telling you all a moment ago, Bantus was constantly engaged in foreign wars for hundreds of years, until Edwin, the usurper. Edwin had not long been of age when he voluntarily requested to go to the front line. The crown prince of Bantus at the time was his elder brother, Thoran, who, along with his dearly beloved sister, Theowen, was often consumed with worry over his safety. But Edwin was confident and driven, bringing necromancy to battlefields and countless victories back to the king. All would-be invaders were confined outside the Bantus borders by his Graveborn army. Confined? All would-be invaders were confined outside the Bantus borders by his Graveborn army. In fact, to understand completely the spread of necromancy before this, let us delve back a little bit deeper into the history of Bantus. That's us going back in time. The year is 423. Our current year, by most accounts of the Lightbearer Empire, our current year is somewhere around 1700. But now, the year is 423, 1300 years ago. After a century of studying the dark art of necromancy, having returned from the dead more than 150 years prior, Quaedem had uncovered even more about the laws governing the world of the dead, even gaining the power to harness the grievances of the deceased for his own ends, strapping upon them the reins of the afterlife and riding their grievances to whatever ends he deemed them most fit to conquer. The power of resentment that pervaded the world of the dead, like a bitter miasma, was entirely at his disposal. He forged a pact with those Graveborn in the world of the dead, who yearned for rebirth, simultaneously satisfying their wishes while turning them obedient to his every whim. Quaedem was gradually assuming control of the world of the dead, filling the power vacuum in the wake of Anai's abdication. He had absolute authority over the souls that dwelt therein, and became known to these deceased denizens as the Rot Reaper. Meanwhile, Quaedem was also spreading knowledge of necromancy across the mortal realm. A few mortals took to studying necromancy's secrets, using this forbidden knowledge to revive those who had died. Those resurrected by necromancy are no longer bound by the bonds of life and death, no longer respect the laws of nature, and are almost immortal. Yet the spirits of the undead are bursting with deep, indelible resentment, which robs them of restraint and compels them to attack all living creatures. Let us not forget, too, the cohort of Hypogeans still roaming Esperia following the conclusion of the First Hypogean War. While few in number and posing little threat, thanks to Dura and her stand at the barred gate, locking most of the Hypogean threat within. Their fundamental nature of those who remained still drove them to evil deeds. Their existence led to the emergence of specialists, martial hunters who stalked and eradicated Graveborn, Hypogeans, and other dark creatures across all of Esperia. Earning a commission for their trouble, soon their activities spread to every corner of the land, and they became known as the Bounty Hunters, the Renegade Brotherhood. This was a profession not without considerable attendant danger, so, in order to share both information and risk, the bounty hunters banded together to form this organization known officially as the Renegade Brotherhood. Sounds a lot like a Witcher, doesn't it? The Renegade Brotherhood contained such members as Fox and Rain and none other than Esperia's own Muriel.
Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?
She's got a little bit of a different look, huh?
I bow to no one.
We know, girl. Muriel was one of the famous members of the Renegade Brotherhood in her time, of course, many hundreds of years later.
I have ruled before, and I shall rule again.
Naturally, my liege. Hmm. 70 years after the founding of the Renegade Brotherhood, in the year 495, the Eldritch Council is established. The Renegade Brotherhood and the Heresy Inquisition. Perhaps we should start there. After the founding of the Renegade Brotherhood, 20 years later, in the year 446, as belief in necromancy, dark magic, and even Hypogean worship festered and grew, many mortals strayed from the teachings of the divine light. As people abandoned the Lightbearer Temple, their authority was gradually undermined. The Lightbearer Temple, of course, is how we get these years. The Lightbearers thought so much of themselves as to begin the year 1 as the first year of the creation of the Lightbearer Temple and count up from there. So in the year 446, it's been 446 years since the founding of the Lightbearer Temple, and many mortals had strayed from the teachings of the divine light. As people abandoned the Lightbearer Temple, their authority was gradually undermined. In order to reinforce their divine authority, the temple adopted a zero-tolerance approach toward all things it considered heretical. Thus, the Heresy Inquisition was established, a secret organization within the temple tasked with tracking down, arresting, and punishing those tainted by dark arts and heretical beliefs. The Inquisition is made up of protectors of souls and Blade Master nuns who practice strict self-discipline, chastity, and humility, and live ascetic lives of complete restraint. They also act as fixers for the Lightbearer Temple, able and willing to get their hands dirty should the need arise. These Blade Master nuns answered to no one but the light above and Dura herself.
Evil lurks in every corner. I shall cleanse evil.
Cecilia.
I shall walk. I shall evil. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in Dora. Trust also in me.
That's the one. Damn
Evil
straight.
Lurks in every corner. Do not let your heart. Do not let evil walk. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in Dora. Trust also in me.
I have ruled before, and I shall rule again.
Now, the year is 495. Another 50 years later. Another 50 years have passed, and the Renegade Brotherhood and the Heresy Inquisition launch a massive suppression campaign against all Graveborn and Necromancers. This led Quaedem to realize that the Graveborn were still not powerful enough to truly compete with the living. Thus, circumstances dictated that keeping a low profile and falling dormant until opportunity arose was the best option. And so it was that Quaedem established the Eldritch Council, summoning 3 of his inner circle as council elders, aiming to rein in the behavior of the Graveborn and Necromancers. The Eldritch Council is a mysterious organization, unknown to the outside world and feared by Graveborn. There's something of a thorn in Thoran's side. Although the council stays hidden behind the scenes, it exercises tremendous authority. It acts as the representative of Quaedem on Esperia, the Rot Reaper, covertly influencing the fares of all Graveborns. "100 years later, in the year 562, the Lenu established Bantus. The Lenu people, who inhabited the western regions of Hathor, so this is, I don't remember where Altor is. I think, oh, whoops. Ah! Yeah, better. So, yeah, we'll leave it for now with the, I think maybe this is Altor. Altor is the lost continent, but Hathor, the primary continent here. And you have up here is the area that we know probably as Hollistone-ish is Ranhorn, and Yggdrasil is, of course, the Dark Forest, is within the Dark Forest. Then you have the desert, the Mauler Desert out here. And it takes us down into Bantus and the Shrieking Bay, and the Isle of the Banished, where those Graveborn that do not partake or believe or listen to Quaedem whatsoever, many of them have chosen to set up shop on the Island of the Banished, and in fact, it is called such because they have rejected Quaedem. The Lenu people, who inhabited the western regions of Hathor, were originally fierce, martial, and nomadic. They resolved all disputes or grievances through force, and, in this respect at least, the Lenu were similar to their neighbors, the Maulers. Later, the various tribes of the Lenu became unified through the war. They built immense fortresses surrounded by strong walls, thus establishing the kingdom of Bantus. Although the Lenu people took steps on the path towards civilization after the establishment of their kingdom, their warlike nature was still very much deeply rooted. 150 years passed now, and we are in the year 723, 300 years after the creation of the Renegade Brotherhood. The whole country of Bantus, founded now by the Lenu people as a collection of reinforced fortresses all along the edges here of the Mauler Empire. This is, of course, a modern-day map, but this would have been 1,000+ years ago that we're talking about. But as they built up all these fortresses here, before it had turned to Graveborn area, these are just humans now in the current in what we're reading. These are humans. In the modern world, of course, it's all been turned to this Graveborn, which is denoted by this sickly green. So their whole country had an inextricable relationship with death due to their warring nomadic nature and the influence of necromancy. And this inextricable relationship with death was reflected in the customs and beliefs of the Lenu people and all who dwelt therein. Death was almost an obsession, permeating every aspect of society. The Lenu worshipped death and believed that perishing in battle was the ultimate honor, while death by natural causes was an unthinkable shame. This misinterpretation of and abnormal value placed on death influenced Bantus in many ways for many hundreds of years to come. For example, while the ruling class saw fit to educate their subjects, it was an education steeped solely in war, battle, and bloodshed. Since its very inception, the kingdom had incessantly waged antagonistic war with the outside world, with military expansion the founding principle of the nation, in order to motivate the population to willingly and gleefully participate in war. Their rulers preached this belief of glory in death, thereby further fueling their hostile nature. The whole country was kept under harsh, ruthless military control, with practically every industry devoted to preparing for war. There were no limits, no taboos, only increasingly favorable ways to promote war. To gain any and all edges in battle, the military not only stepped but leaped over the boundaries of morality and ethics, using inhumane weapons and magic with reckless abandon and utter disregard for life. It was therefore inevitable that the abhorrent study and implementation of necromancy would become the rule, rather than the exception, within Bantus. This was just the opportunity for which Lord Quaedem, the Rot Reaper, had been waiting. For centuries he had patiently watched the Lenu from the shadows, charting their evolution from disparate, bloodthirsty nomads into a fearsome and coherent kingdom. When they began to experiment with necromancy, he activated his countless sleeper agents, those necromancers preaching the doctrine of death who had already infiltrated the kingdom. They permeated all levels of Bantus society, patiently biding their time and waiting for the signal. Bantus had already possessed of a fixation with death, easily became a haven for the spread of necromancy, which proliferated across the land with breathtaking speed. Bantus even established a special academy for the study of necromancy, the School of the Dead, aptly named, thus marking the moment that Quaedem's power truly overwhelmed Bantus. 250 years later, Thoran would ascend to the throne and implement a series of sweeping reforms. Not all citizens of Bantus turned a blind eye to the sinister direction in which the kingdom was heading. While there had been no dearth of insightful leaders, none had had the true courage or will to effect change until Thoran took the throne. He was a true visionary who realized the negative effects that his country's aberrant policies and customs were having. He understood that only by ceasing the constant warfare and showing some benevolence to his people could he guarantee the survival of the kingdom. He advocated for implementing a series of substantial societal reforms. He promoted a peaceful foreign policy for the first time, committing to reconciling with neighboring kingdoms and ending feuds that had lasted for generations. By actively avoiding external conflicts, military spending dramatically dropped, which in turn lessened the tax burden on the citizens. But the real reason he was adored by his people was simply that his policies allowed so many soldiers who had otherwise expected to die on a bloody battlefield far from home to return to their families. At the same time, Thoran acknowledged the malign influence that necromancy had over his people and banned it completely from the kingdom. The people of Bantus finally felt a spark of renewed hope for themselves and for their kingdom. Which brings us to Edwin, the usurper. Bantus' foreign wars never truly stopped. Even if they appeared to, it was merely to prepare for the next territorial expansion. The year was 980, and Edwin had not long been of age when he voluntarily requested to go to the front line. The crown prince of Bantus at the time was his elder brother Thoran, who, along with his dearly beloved sister Theowen, was often consumed with worry over Edwin's safety. But Edwin was confident and driven, bringing necromancy to battlefields and countless victories back to the king. All would-be invaders were confined outside the Bantus borders by his Graveborn army. His outstanding military achievements and combat decorations made Edwin the youngest ever general in the history of Bantus to score so many victories. The people called him the Blade of Bantus, and he earned himself a seat on the prestigious political council. Dignitaries from all over the land flocked to fawn at him and curry favor, thrusting him into the limelight. After sipping from the cup of such intoxicating power, Edwin dreamed of riding out at the head of his armored cavalry. His authority would be unquestioned if he could bring all of Hathor under the dominion of Bantus. However, when the old bellicose king died and Thoran ascended the throne, suddenly everything ran counter to Edwin's perfect vision of an imagined future. Edwin was officiating at a memorial to honor fallen warriors when a messenger burst in. He had come from the distant royal capital, thousands of leagues away, bearing the new king's declaration. Princess Theowen was about to depart for Thalonia, a powerful nation on the western border, there to wed the crown prince. It was the king's sincere wish that border forces ceased can't read. It was the king's sincere wish that border forces cease hostilities, and that the soldiers return to the royal capital to celebrate together with the nation. Edwin and the king had fallen out over just such a thing in the past. In his mind, the superiority of necromancy more or less assured the eventual domination of Bantus, so there was no need for the pampered princess to leave and get married. Attempting to make Thoran feel guilty, Edwin even abandoned his customary courtesy and brazenly questioned what their sister meant to him. But the king, always the soul of kindness, displayed nothing but an unusual indifference to the face of this question. In the face of this question. Years of constant war have brought myriad hidden dangers. Bantus needs a new path. This is her inevitable sacrifice, and her duty as a royal princess. Faced with the king's unflinching attitude, Edwin could not object further. He knew well that the only power one held counted. He knew well that only the power one held counted when making decisions. After the princess was married off to Thalonia, the relationship between the two countries gradually improved. This paved the way for the steady implementation of Thoran's future policies, and the influence of the pro-war faction waned day by day. After he abolished necromancy, which had done nothing but drag the people towards the abyss, the chorus of public praise and support swelled even louder. But it was a slap in the face for Edwin. To neuter the country's greatest strength was like intentionally removing its armor and exposing its weak and vulnerable underbelly to all. Edwin was adamantly opposed, while Thoran, always loving and indulgent of Edwin, was likewise adamant about enacting national policy changes. War and necromancy brought nothing but disaster and suffering to the people. Only by pivoting to benevolence could the future of the kingdom be assured. He not only reprimanded Edwin publicly over his proposal to rearm troops, but also ordered him to conduct a thorough self-reflection while confined to the palace. Edwin, bereft of all support and authority, was enraged by this. Peace and national rejuvenation? Nothing but excuses. Excuses that ignored the achievements of the living and trampled on the sacrifices of the dead. Only cowards dare utter such foolishness. If only he had the power of the throne, his counselors would not have to abide by such incompetent decisions. His noble sister would not have to be offered up as some kind of sacrificial pawn, and his long-suffering people would not need to endure the shame of other countries invading their territory. Edwin was blinded by his resentment and rage. Thirsting for power, murderous intent soon arose in his frenzied heart. In order to seize all the power he envisaged, Edwin lured Theowen back under the guise of asking her to mediate between himself and the king. But at the feast held to celebrate her homecoming, Thoran's death was the main course. Edwin felt no guilt as the tip of his sword pierced the chest of the king. Rather, he felt happier and freer than ever before. Finally, at long last, he had all of the Bantus in his grasp. All the criticism he had faced. he had all of the Bantus in his grasp. All the criticism he had faced, all the humiliation would vanish like smoke in the new dawn of a new regime. His regime. However, dessert had yet to be served, and the excitement was not yet over, as Edwin's life was also abruptly snuffed out. Go to hell, you damn traitor! Thoran's devoted bodyguard, already slain, had become Graveborn under the power of necromancy. The sword he held skewered Edwin mercilessly from behind, before going on to slaughter all the traitors at the bloody banquet. Grazul's sword bled. Edwin fell to the ground, eyes wide in disbelief. He somehow still managed, before death claimed him, to stretch out one hand towards the fallen crown. The Lord of Fear never lets go of any resentful, unwilling soul. Inspired by the whispers of Quaedem, Edwin realized a new opportunity had been gained. While the coup had ended in the death of both king and rebels, Thoran was resurrected as the fallen king by his most devoted and loyal servant, and under his brutal dictatorship, Bantus became a kingdom of the dead. After Edwin was reborn, he stepped once again into the great hall. In the dim, flickering candlelight, the ruler of Bantus sat silent as a rock upon his throne, his loyal guards standing by with lowered eyes. Edwin touched one hand. After Edwin was reborn. Sorry, guys. One more time. After Edwin was reborn, he stepped once again into the great hall. In the dim, flickering candlelight, the ruler of Bantus sat silent as a rock upon his throne, his loyal guards standing by with lowered eyes. Edwin touched one hand to his shoulder and bowed deeply to the ruler atop his die. Hidden in the shadows, both his smile and his intention were unfathomable. Shall we go on as we were, brother dearest? Fiend. I gotta grab a sound effect of, aw, thank you, Hog. I gotta find a sound effect of footsteps in like a big cathedral sound. I'd like to add that in there. continuing on, for we are not done, friends. Clary has some things to share with us first, though, I think. Clary, do you want to do your stuff now, or do you guys have a while and I should move on to Theowen first? I know it's late there. So, talk to me, Clary and Storm. Do you guys want to do you want to show off your stuff now? Are you going to be here? Do you want to keep doing Theowen and then show the stuff? I was going to do Theowen next, but I don't want to make you guys wait too long. Are you cool if we do Theowen first and then we show off your stuff? I feel like it flows better. Actually, I'm gonna DM you here real quick, Clary.
How could you possibly understand? How could you possibly understand? Why can't I awake from this nightmare?
All right, we are gonna do Theowen now, and then I've got a really great video for you guys that I imagine most of you haven't seen. That's you're gonna love after we do the Theowen story. And yeah, awesome, Clary. I'm glad you guys are with us now. This is fun. Okay, so. And then, yeah, later on, we're going to have some really cool cosplay stuff from Clary, so...
You shall feel my suffering.
Theowen was one of my favorite characters right away when she first got added to the arsenal here. I guess she's so old that she doesn't even move. So she must have been right around the time they started animating those, because I'm surprised she doesn't. So it must have been right around then. But a lot of the heroes, you know, you'll notice, you guys who don't play AFK Arena, most of the newer heroes like Ivan,
my artistry.
Another one of my favorites, as you can tell, because I built the hell out of him. Hey, Darky. Welcome in, buddy. So yeah, you guys see they all move, which is so cool. Like Edwin moves. But Theowen was added. She felt like a new hero, but gosh, she's super old at this point. She came in before Edwin did, in fact.
It's all my fault.
And she's just so... What a beautiful ghost of a character.
Shall feel my suffering.
She is stuck in this wailing sorrow permanently. You see her ghost hands.
Possibly understand.
All of her existence now is this torment from Thoran's betrayal.
Do you feel
Yes, sir, Darky. We're doing, it's a lore day, brother. Esperia Chronicles presents...
You shall feel my suffering.
The Esperia Chronicles. On AFK with DangerGrey. Theowen, the Wailing Widow. Princess Theowen was born into Bantus nobility, but was adopted by the royal family as a child. She is Thoran and Edwin's adopted younger sister. A frail and sickly girl, she was unable to go out and about as one normally would, unable to meet with her peers or go hunting with friends. As she grew up, she became more noble and elegant, but also increasingly reserved and closed off. Oh, one sec, guys. Brothering, real quick. Hey, wait. And we're back. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. One more time from the top. Sorry. Brothering is... I have a sister that lives with us. She's just about 1.5 years younger than me, and she has Down syndrome and autism, and is a wonderful, wonderful joy to have around all the time. But as a streamer, sometimes I do have to step away for a sec. So we are back and carrying on. Funny because we're talking about Thoran and Thoran's sister. That's what you do, right? You guys all have siblings? No matter how old you are, you're always taking care of your siblings, right? And fighting with them, you know, all of it. It's funny, sometimes I see that sometimes when she and I'll get into a disagreement, I see like how simple it is of just like a sibling just like, Mom, I can't believe she said that, you know, even though we're both like 30 something. It's funny how you're always siblings.
You shall feel my suffering.
Speaking of sisters and family, poor Theowen. You'll see. Poor Theowen. All right. Wow, 5 siblings, Zoth? That's crazy, bro. That's a lot. Theowen, the Wailing Widow. Princess Theowen was born into Bantus nobility, but she was adopted by the royal family as a child. She is Thoran and Edwin's younger sister. A frail and sickly girl, she was unable to go out and about as one normally would, unable to meet with her peers or go hunting with friends. As she grew up, she became more noble and elegant, but also increasingly reserved and closed off. Thankfully, her 2 older brothers noticed her anxious disposition and set about ensuring their sickly little sister was cared for. Of her 2 older brothers, she was closer to Edwin, despite their polarized personalities. After battle, Edwin would always return with little gifts for Theowen, such as amethyst or purple roses, which I love about. It's literally worth going over to show one more time here. One of the things I really love in this game, something about this art really grabbed me the first time I saw it. Edwin with these blue roses. They're there because he brings them back for his sister, Theowen. And you'll find that this is not the first instance of adopted siblings in Esperia who are perchance maybe even more than siblings to one another. It's always hard to say if we're not them. But her relationship with Thoran was very much that of brother and sister, of older brother looking out for his sister. I love this image. I love these. It's like a beautiful piece of stained glass or something. Him with these roses. After battle, Edwin would always return with little gifts for Theowen, such as amethyst or purple roses. The only time Theowen ever looked happy was upon receiving Edwin's gifts. Her face would light up. Her face would light up. As the days drew on, Theowen's dependence on Edwin grew. She hoped dearly in her little princess heart to one day marry a man as fine and brave as her big brother Edwin. Alas, life does not always pan out how we hope. When the time came for Thoran to ascend to the throne, the country's finances had been dried up through years of war. In the eyes of the people, Thoran was undoubtedly kind, making changes to expansion policies and devoting himself to bringing peace to the land. In order to restore relations between Bantus Kingdom and foreign realms, Thoran decided to arrange for a marriage between his sister, Theowen, and the Crown Prince of Thalonia, a formidable country in the west. Given the situation, even the much-beloved princess was regarded as a mere political pawn. Provided they... In order to restore relations between the Bantus Kingdom and foreign realms, Thoran decided to arrange for a marriage between his sister Theowen and the Crown Prince of Thalonia, a formidable country in the west. Given the situation, even the much-beloved princess was regarded as a mere political pawn. Provided Theowen's feelings didn't factor in, the marriage was doubtless a phenomenal success. The relationship of the two countries was once again as strong as it used to be, and the borderlands, are once again becoming powerful and peaceful. For the princess, however, this marriage was the start of a tragedy. She could not bring herself to love him. For compared to her big brother, the witty, handsome, and gallant Edwin, the crown prince was woefully average. Despite his kindness and good treatment of others, he was meek and timid, never able to win his wife's adoration or praise. Every day spent with her husband felt like torture, making her miss Edwin all the more. She would think fondly of the times she spent playing with her boisterous big brother in the garden, whilst her kind, reliable big brother would watch them both with a smile on his face, Thoran. Edwin would enthusiastically lift his little sister above his head, telling her all his thrilling war stories, and the three of them would go to dinner together, laughing and smiling all the way to the banquet hall. Theowen hadn't heard from Edwin in quite some time. In his most recent letter, Edwin told her that he and Thoran were experiencing a conflict of opinion. Edwin was given the cold shoulder, ordered by the king to remain inside and not to leave at any time. A thinly veiled house arrest. Edwin wanted a chance to reconcile his differences with King Thoran. Having heard Edwin's plea, Theowen resolved to help him reconcile with Thoran. Telling her husband that she dearly missed her homeland and wished to pay a visit, her husband wasted no time in agreeing to it. You can imagine why, considering he can't please her in any other way. Of course, he was eager to jump at the opportunity. Upon arriving in Bantus, the couple were warmly greeted by Thoran. Caring for his sister's feelings, Thoran temporarily lifted Edwin's house arrest, inviting him to a grand diplomatic banquet. Thoran could never have anticipated that such a move would be taken advantage of. The pure and naive Theowen could also never have foreseen that her arrival would be the trigger for a bloody coup. That evening, Edwin's soldiers surrounded the banquet hall. Deranged, Edwin then killed the crowned prince, then pointed the sword at his brother, sat on the throne. Her husband in a pool of blood, her family crossing swords, and the crazed thirst for power in Edwin's eyes. Everything was so strange and unfamiliar. Theowen was terrified. It felt like a nightmare. Once Thoran fell, his loyal guard too fell, and then arose as a Graveborn. The Graveborn guard sought vengeance, fighting back against the rebel forces. Amidst the chaos of slaughter, the innocent Theowen was struck by a stray blade. She hated how Edwin had used her, how he'd killed Thoran and her husband, the crown prince. She couldn't forgive herself, believing herself to be instrumental in the death of her loved ones and countless innocents. It's all my fault. As she watched Edwin die before her eyes, Theowen could stand it no longer. Curling up in pain, with her final breath she let out a piteous wail of despair. Ah! It's all my fault! Once the coup was over, there was a rush to bury the deceased nobles in the royal graveyard. However, once Thoran took control of the Bantus kingdom as the fallen king, Princess Theowen's tomb was found to be empty. The noble and elegant Princess Theowen is no more. In her place is a distant, isolated Graveborn. Her eyes are peerlessly beautiful, but her tears are without end. The suffering she feels is never to wane.
Princess Theowen's eyes are like amethyst, but those eyes are forever full of grief.
The Royal Graveyard Keeper. Nah, we're still intact over here, Hawk. Don't you worry. I just love her. Man, I love Theowen. It's all my fault. Just, oh, and you guys, you don't know if you don't play AFK Arena, but she says it constantly on the, it's like her sound when she goes on the battlefield and shit. Sorry if I blasted you guys. I apologize. Yeah, man, it would be incredible. Imagine if they made a game where you could experience these stories and run around in that world and talk to the heroes. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh, wait. They're supposed to be, except they're trying to just write new ones instead of these amazing ones. Wouldn't that be incredible, though, if you could run around in the world with these stories? I think we'll get there. This new one is wonderful. The new season is very good. I'm still very hopeful that it's not over, although by all appearances it may be. But I'm hopeful that there's more to the story before we get the next season. Oh man, come on. Yeah, I agree. There has to be more. I keep getting screwed by that store. I feel like there was something I wanted to do. Oh, I know what it was, but I can't do it yet. I want to pull Lucius, man. I really do. But I don't have enough furniture to do him, and if I don't have the furniture, I don't want to do it. But someday soon, I probably will pull Lucius. Alright, we're gonna move on in the lore. We'll keep going. Was she really, Clary? That's awesome. Mine too, for a long time. I've always loved that character. It made me sad that there wasn't, like, more to her, that she wasn't that good in the game, you know. Where is, yeah. And my treasure scramble win from yesterday was huge. Very exciting about the end of this most recent season. Check it out. Unfortunately, I didn't have a team that really ripped. I need to keep one team that can really shred. But what the most exciting thing I think for me was the Belinda team, how well that did. That looks good for future, because I just did Adrian and Elise, one of the coolest heroes in the game, hands down.
Adrian and Elise have arrived as soar into the sky. A flawless exit. Adrian and Elise have arrived as promised.
So cool. What is she?
Soar into the sky.
I stand true to my oath to safeguard and shield my homeland.
Yes, Shamira's awakening story is excellent, huh? And it would play right into Niru being in the story in the game as well, huh? Yeah, Shamira's awakening story, because Ivan was gonna take her son. Lucius. Okay, I think now would be a great time to do the Clary and Storm Shadow to do a round of their newest cosplay work, everybody. So as soon as I finish building up some Lucius armor here, we will do that. Boy, isn't it great that you don't have to put armor on every hero in AFK Journey? That's one of the best things about it, is the way they do the gear. No, this is Awoken Lucius, so it's a little different, Hawk. I'll show you in a second. This Lucius got made fun of constantly because he looks so ridiculous compared to normal Lucius. Lucius actually looks like he was one of the original heroes. This is Lucius. See? It's actually not different at all. He's actually the same. Yeah. But this Lucius is, like, actually useless. Like, he cannot stand up to anything. He falls over dead. He's not used in any lineups anywhere ever. It'd be like using, you know, Laser to tank or something. Like, he's just not, he's not up to snuff. And you're fine, Bubba.
Praise going back to the hell that spawned you. You are cleansed. Yield to the goodness that surrounds you. Breathe the free air again, my friend.
I love that line, though. I remember that from being a noob. That's so wild to hear him say it again. I haven't heard him say that in a long time. I used to hear that constantly.
Breathe the free air again, my friend.
Oh, that takes me back, dude. Early AFK Arena, when, like, heals really mattered and stuff. Like, you know, you could watch every attack almost.
Breathe the free air again, my friend.
And like building him up to be able to heal man. I remember early AFK Arena was so much fun. It's obviously, it's still incredibly fun. It was just, I mean, it's literally a different game playing at the low, but that's what's so interesting about this game they've built is it's like the games within a game that it creates, because early game is nothing like late game, and yet they both use the same characters and the same combat and the same abilities, and yet it turns into something else entirely. And the fact that it's able to sustain both of those is just so impressive to me. Eternally impressive to me. Endlessly impressive. This used to take not very much time. I haven't done that in a long time. There's so many heroes now. Wow. Damn. Scrolling through them all. It used to be like, and done. But now, oh my lord. That's great. So these are the heroes that you don't use in the game at all that are not even able to be leveled up. These are like the food heroes. So the way that we have acorns, in AFK Journey, they use heroes in AFK Arena. And you use heroes to combine into other heroes as food, basically. And these are the food heroes, including... You guys recognize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heroes from here are in Journey, which made me so excited when I first saw it. It is, Zoth. That's why the new version of AFK, the AFK whatever it is, that little like reduced version that they made, can't think of what it's called, but it's a lot of fun. It's like what they wish their game was. Literally, they released AFK Arena, AFK Companion. If you guys get a chance and you want to try something fun, you kind of want to get into AFK Arena, but you don't know where to start, I would suggest AFK Companion. It's a lot of fun. It's the game way simplified, and with all the like original cool heroes and some of the good ones over time, but none of the extra bulk and crap that's in the game. It was a really good time when I played in the beta just like a month ago. It just came out, AFK Companion. It's brand new, which it's a really great time to get in because, you know, it's brand new. Now they've added the Dragon faction.
As darkness descends, the Draconis faction.
Yeah, you got them all, Hawk. That's it. Hogan, Muriel, Arden, Sylvina, and Niru. You got them.
As darkness descends, the Draconis faction shall rally the lost bloodline.
We now have dragons.
I've embraced my heritage.
Gwyneth here is the dragon awoken version of one of the original heroes from the start of the game, Gwyneth.
It is an honor to serve.
And she woke up and became a dragon, which I thought was cool writing, actually. Like, she didn't know that she had that latent blood inside her, and then she...
I've embraced my heritage.
Now she's this crazy dragon thing. I mean, like, her ultimate is insane as a dragon. She's one of the strongest things in the game right now. Most people don't even have her. Even spenders don't even have her built. I mean, they do if they've spent a lot, but a lot of spenders that I know don't have her yet. Gwyneth.
I've embraced my...
Wait.
Commencing quest. Object...
I may be a civil official, but I'm no armchair general.
I like Cassius a lot. He's quirky and fun. Yeah, for real, Darky.
I've got my eyes on your every move.
And now the new guys. She's really strong. She's the newest one they added, and then they just added this guy who's like a grunt. There's like 2 tiers. There's A tier and S tier dragons, basically, and she's the new S tier dragon. Gwyneth is another one.
I've embraced my heritage.
And she does this ice dragon thing, and then this guy's a new A tier.
Don't even think about escaping. Charge for the glory of Draconis.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him really, but it's cool. We should take his trial though. So the trials, they should do this in Journey as well, but you get to try a hero for 3 days. 72 hours now on him. Trial ends in... So that's not ours, though. Here, I'll show you. So now in my heroes, I've got him... wherever that would put him. I'm not sure. Here he is. Look, I now have enough heroes that have SI40 that he has SI40. So it averages your top 5 heroes for everything, I think. For most things anyway. So if your top 5 heroes are E60 engraved that far, then he'll be engraved all the way, like this guy is. If they have SI40, which is fairly new, these SI40s, it's like the EX weapon. They added new abilities to everyone's EX weapons, basically, which is their SIG item. So they added this. And yeah, AFK Arena. Us free-to-plays, this is free-to-play life after 4.5 years. Almost 5 years on AFK Arena. Crazy. Still has beautiful music too. Yeah, Hawk, I'm fully free to play here too. You've got, see this right here, purchase gift. This is the same as that Rowan sticker that's on AFK Journey. Us free to plays have the Rowan badge. In AFK Arena, it's the purchase gift right there. So I still have mine. And my new guild that I formed just about a month ago. Out of our guild and merged with another, Defaced and Eternal Flame, merged together to become Arsonists, which I now lead. And we are ready for the Abyssal Expedition coming out in like a week or two. We are so ready. Everybody active. I think we're gonna finish top 100. I really do. It'll be a first for me, Darky. I don't know if you've ever played in a team like that. Wait, Darky, you don't play AFK Arena, do you? You just seem like someone who would. Anyhow, let's get on to Clary and their beautiful additions to the Esperian world. Let me see here. Clary, do you mind if I use our Discord chat? That seemed to work really well last time. Is that cool with you? Okay, I figured. Okay, I gotta start with the hammy. So she's cutting out all these amazing pictures, or I mean these amazing like pieces, sorry, I mean pieces, and painting the face. Look at this image. Isn't this beautiful? I love this picture. Ah, you're amazing. You're so good at this. It's so great, Clary. And I don't know what this video is. Oh, you're showing all the pieces? Yeah. Final result. Ah! Look at that, guys. I have no idea what Wolf Tails is, Hawk, but that sounds cool, man. Sounds like something I'd be into. Isn't this amazing? Okay, I want one. I love her little hands. And ooh, the tossy hair and wig. Look, you got the hair looking just right, baby girl. How did you? Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Oh man. Oh, I love it so much. You got the arc on the, I don't know, how did you get it to bend like that? Is that foam, Clary? Is that the foam that you talk about, the Evo foam, and you can like make it form into shapes that you need? Do you like heat it or something to make it hold a shape? How does that work? Oh, that's nice, Clary, of course. Curved with the phone. Yeah, like how do you make it take that shape? How do you make it hold that curve? You know what I'm saying? Like how did you get it to bend? Is it just bendable? You just bend it? Like that's just what it's like? It looks so soft. It doesn't look like it would bend. I guess, wow, man, it's just art. Me talking about my savings. I wasn't actually, I just needed to borrow that, but yeah, this is what I'm sitting on Journey. My little, oh man. Okay. Oops. I was muting the other thing. Really nice little video you made of that. I loved your use of sound. I thought it was a really clever use of the music there, Clary. Is that on your TikTok? Oh my gosh. Hand painted. Like, this is such art. And the ruffles and the tennis skirt. The Tossy tennis skirt. Girl, you need to send me this outfit so I can be Tossy for Halloween. Like, I'm 0% kidding. I totally would wear that if you lived within driving distance. I would 100% do an episode, do a Halloween cosplay episode in that outfit. As it stands, I actually do have a cosplay outfit picked out, y'all, that I do think you'll be pretty impressed with, Clary. In fact, I've taken a page out of your cosplay book for a Journey character I will be being for Halloween this year. But I would do multiple cosplay episodes if ever you decide to send me a Tossy outfit. No, we'll have to get together someday. I know we talk about it all the time. We're gonna absolutely have to do that, man, because that would just be, that'd be amazing. It really would. Oh shoot, I was pulling up. What was I pulling up? So I'm tracking down images of my cosplay from last year right now for you that I will show everybody in a few minutes when I find them. Siamese helping me. My beautiful better half. Look at that. And you made this come to life too. That's crazy how much you made the like starter outfit. It's there, it's real. It's just crazy that you did that there it is. Right, Darky? They really are. Look at these details. Thank you, Boa. It's like she's really here with us. It's crazy. Okay. Is there pictures of you in this yet, Clary? If I keep going down, am I going to see pictures of you in the Tassi outfit? Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Holy wow. Just wow. The wings, man. You're so talented as a painter. I think that's a big part of it, of why your stuff ends up looking so authentic, is because of your ability to bring in these different colors and textures to it. Like if I painted Tassi's wings, they would not look like this. You guys feel me? I am admittedly a multi-talented artist in many, many different formats, but drawing or painting by hand has never been one of them. I was never, so I actually didn't even realize I was, it's funny, but I didn't realize I was an artist until I was in my 20s, because I just had always, I knew I was a performer, you know, I liked acting, but I didn't write music or anything yet. I didn't start writing music till I was, like 25. And of all the different art forms, painting and drawing have never come very naturally to me. So I really admire when people can just whip stuff out. And like these are all so exact, you know, like what if you messed one up, right? But you don't. They're all perfect. It's crazy. And the sheer that you got here, this whatever fabric this is, that's really nice. Man, so professional. I wish you guys were coming to the meetup. We'll have to, hopefully they'll do one that's somewhere everybody can attend someday. Ooh, you in that outfit. Tausty's work in progress video. Sure, Darky, yeah. Send me a couple images right now on Darky on Discord if you want. If you're talking art pieces, yeah. That's so awesome, Clary. You said, she says, I am a paintress, but before the other things. I came from an art school, but no one taught me how to do this. I simply paint and create since I was little. Yeah. Right, Zoth? Yeah, exactly. It's perspective, man. Perspective, exact. Yeah, that's what right? Perspective is exactly what's lacking with my ability to draw or paint. It's, yeah, nailed it, Zoth. It's perspective, man. You either just have it or you don't with creating something with your hand, you know? It's just, my hands just don't make them look the way that people's do. Okay, are you guys ready to see my cosplay from last year, from Halloween? I haven't even looked at this yet. She just sent it to me. I mean, I remember it, but... Oh, yeah. DangerGrey Shamira. How about it? Oh, yeah. I mean, I gotta show you guys the character, too.
Accept your fate. Die.
Oh shit, whoops.
You're not taking Daemon away from me.
There we go, kind of.
You hear the mournful souls grieving.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's sing this
Oh, oops. Haha. Yeah, so I did a whole episode last year as Shamira. And so I had the here. This is her. With her headdress. And so I didn't go, it's not Clary level good, man, but I got the green wig, you know, I had the nails, I had the horns. I tried to do it up. And the black dress was really, I mean, that was everything, right? Yeah, I had this whole black dress thing on. You can kind of see it better here. It was like, yeah. You get the idea. Peak talents here, Darky. Hey man, even that's better than what I can do. Wait, we gotta pull out Kaz then for you. I don't even know where she is. There she is. Gosh, man, you can like hardly tell a difference, right? Which one's which? I don't even know, Darky. Oh, thank you, Clary. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. Well done, Darky. Good work. Of course, man.
I tread quietly.
Ooh, what's all this? Wait. Oh my god, you're doing Sinbad? Of course you are. Clary.
I tread quietly.
That's so many accessories. Yeah, Hawk, I know you love Igor. I would tell you about that video right now if you hadn't already seen it. That one that you found the ad for, because I remember seeing it and thinking that you would like it, like way back. Yeah, dude, Storm Shadow Sinbad is gonna be incredible. My gosh. And you haven't worn the Tossie thing yet, right? Not yet? Oh, those are created by Storm Shadow. Amazing. Hey, wow. Wait, okay, I gotta go back. Storm made these, huh? Very nice. Good job, Storm. I don't know if he's here with you. Probably. It's late there. You guys are probably hanging out. Cool, brother. The bracers are gonna look great. And the knives, man. Y'all have it. Y'all have it down. I love it. That's okay.
No more stairs.
I was maybe gonna read one more. Should I do it right now?
Maybe not. It won't take me.
What?